I'm late. Hi. Don't come for me. I'm late. I'm sorry. Do you accept my apology? Are we good? Happy Saturday. Hello. Thank you, Tipsy. Thank you. Hi. Let's see who's here. I saw Dewdrops. I know you're working. Thank you for being here, my love. I saw Corso. What's up, Corso? I saw Cole in here. Yay! I see Mary popping in. I see Cat Randall. I saw Glitter. Beautiful Augie. It's a balmy 34. Yeah, it's I was actually just thinking about that. It's like 54 degrees here. So it's nippy, it's chilly, but hello, it's nice to see you all. We're back to the Mackenzie Shirilla case. I was late because I realized one of the interviews I'm playing tonight, I'm either going to have to play it straight from Plunder's website. Paula, she's a good friend of the channel. Shout out to her, or I'm going to have to figure it out in the meantime. But we're going to play Dominic. If you're not familiar with the Mackenzie Shirilla case, I do have a live that is a deep dive. She basically crashed her car at about 100 miles per hour and ended up unaliving Dominic Russo and Davion Flanagan, her boyfriend and their friend. She was convicted 15 years, and then she gets possibility of parole. We watched all of most of the body cam footage and some of the trial. It was a bench trial, so we don't have all the access to it. And tonight we're going to watch Angelo Russo, Dominic's brother's interview, where he talks about how toxic their relationship was. And we're going to watch Mackenzie's ex-boyfriend's interview from when she was 16. And he also talks about how toxic she was. So I think it's important to get all different perspectives. We saw the body cam footage. We saw the crime scene for ourselves. We saw the court scene footage. So you can make your opinion at the end of the day. I'm not a professional. I'm just here to bring the crime to you guys and present the information. Thanks to Paula at Plunder. I will drop the links, or have my mods drop the links for her down below. Go support, show love. She's a great friend. And I think that it's important to listen what all the other people involved with Mackenzie and Dominic had to say, right? Because many claim that she had mental health issues, etc. Others claim that it was intentional, deliberate, and she planned it. Others claim that it was an accident. But from what we know in the deep dive was that the investigation led to, it was no accident. There was never any attempt to push on the brake, right? And so there's a lot of controversy, I think, behind the case. So we're going to listen to her ex-boyfriend. This one's a shorter interview than the brother, but this is Tyler Proctor, and he is Mackenzie's ex-boyfriend from when she was 16. I'm going to pull it up. Let me know if you guys can see it in here. It's quiet for a little bit. This is a wild case. And I love body cam footage. Yeah, bench trials. I have my opinions about those, but
We understand you're not under arrest. Yeah. Walk out anytime you want. We have.
If you can't hear, put on headphones.
Sorry. We wanted to ask you. First thing is, how long have you known Mackenzie?
Probably when I moved to Strongsville, so 9th grade. I came here probably when I was 16.
Oh, thank you, Dewdrops. I'm glad you're here tonight. Thank you for being here.
I was probably 15 when I came here. So
15? Yeah. So 2 years ago?
Yeah.
And so, how long were you guys in a relationship, you and her?
Well, we were all friends in a friend group at first, and Joey dated her first before I came to Strongsville, and then I ended up dating her for a little bit, like probably over the summer. I was only dating her for probably like a month and a half or like 2 months, and then me and Dom found out that she was cheating on us basically, but
thank you, Corso.
Like anything official, so it wasn't no hard feelings. Like whatever happened, I just kind of was like, after me and Dom found out about that, we had no problems with each other and nothing, but it was kind of like and stuff like that. Like, why didn't you tell Dom? And Dom would ask her like, "Are you leading him on?" and stuff like that, and she would just lie to him. And then that's basically it with that. I don't for like 2 months, and then after that, like they were on and off, and I kept on talking to her still while they were on and off because we were all still in the friend group and stuff. So, and then we kind of just like stopped being intimate, you know what I'm saying? And we're just friends. Around when she turned 16, I think, because I was at her birthday dinner with her family and stuff like that. And then after that, she had a party for Kalahari. All of us went, like Dom, me, AJ, Joey, Amory, Megan, Natalie, and Kenzie. And that was probably like when we stopped being intimate, was around her birthday. And after we went to Kalahari, and then it was just her and Dom after that.
Can you explain what you mean by intimate?
That's a lot of partying.
Or hugging, or just like
Or no?
that, like would happen in a relationship. You know what I mean?
Did you ever
Edie.
physically, sexually?
Glad you made it.
No, we never had sex, but we would make out.
Who's Joey?
Joey Probes. He dated her. He's like one of my best friends, but he dated her. I know before I came to Strongsville for a little bit. I don't know.
Okay.
She was younger than 15.
Yeah.
Okay. So
This is Mackenzie Shirilla's ex-boyfriend.
Month and a half to 2 months over summer.
We're getting the
this
tea.
summer, this past
We're getting the
summer?
tea.
Oh no, it was like freshman summer.
Freshman summer.
Yeah, it was like after freshman year was over.
Okay.
Yeah, Didi. I'll get back to you from a different email. That's the new one, but I got your message
Describe the relationship
tonight.
What was she like as your girlfriend?
I mean, like, she's kind of just like how you would explain any girls, really. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're
Whoa.
in some ways, and like,
Whoa.
you know what they want.
Why is he categorizing all of us?
She would say stuff like towards the crazy side. Like, I remember conversations with her when she couldn't like decide what she wanted, like between me and Dom. Kind of, she would be like, she's like, "Oh, I love Dom so much, this and that, but like, he's mad at me for all of this," and I'm just like, "Well, yeah, like, why wouldn't he be like me to like just go stay with Dom, because I'm not gonna be with you no more after this."
So what he's saying is that she was
friend group is friends because I don't want to
involved with both of them.
I was like, I don't got no problems with you or anything like that.
Allegedly.
Like, you need to go talk to Dom about like your personal issues and stuff, because that's your relationship with him. Like, and she would tell me like how she, because we all obviously smoke weed, but she would say stuff like, "I don't even get high anymore," stuff like that, because how much she smokes. She would just say stuff like that, and she'd be like, "I'm so like going through all this stuff and things like that," and I was basically like I didn't really have much with her relationship wise because we didn't date that long, but like friend wise, like she was crazy. Like our group chat, there was some days like we would all be getting ready for school, and she would be sitting there spam calling the group chat to the point where like we can't pick it up to even like answer it, because she's just calling and declining and calling and declining. And then we finally do pick it up, and it was something as small as I can't figure out what I need to wear to school. It's like, why are you blowing up all of us? Like, it was
Wow.
one that went to Kalahari that was in that group chat. So it's like, are you blowing us all up just over something as little as you can't figure out what you're trying to wear to school? Like, she would be like just.
She's like mentally just not all there. I mean,
Yeah, I don't think she's just mentally all there. Like, I personally feel like she was trying to kill herself in that crash, and she failed on doing so. Is what I feel like.
Whoa, that is crazy, because we know that is one of the things that people were saying was that she was trying to unalive herself and failed as well. And now this is the ex-boyfriend from when she was 16.
Dr. Davion,
saying the same thing. Yeah, you know, the audio is low, so you have to put on headphones or turn it up. Sorry, Didi.
She hasn't ever threatened to hurt anyone, but she's threatened probably like, she hasn't like physically said like, I'm gonna kill myself, but she's like, you know what I'm saying, like made it to the point where
alluded to it.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying, like where she's just like, I hate life, like shit like that, and like but we were all obviously like Bever and still trying to be friends with her and stuff like that. But our friend group probably fell out with Kenzie around like after 10th grade. And that's kind of when like all of us stopped being friends with just her. We were all cool with her still. Just because she's so like crazy, she'll blow everyone's phone up. She's all over the place with everything. And then she's just in general like kind of a shady person. She's like, like she'll go and talk shit to everyone about everyone, and then like, you know what I'm saying? She'll go talk shit about me to someone else, and then she'll go talk shit about to that person to me. You know what I'm saying? But she would do it with everyone. She was going through multiple friend groups because of the type of person she
So
was.
it seems like she was very unstable with her friendships.
Did you guys ever fight when you were dating?
No, I mean like
argue?
no, not for real.
Nothing?
No, because I didn't really like the kid like that. Like, I don't even think that it got to a point with me and her like that. But like, I've said things about her since, like, we were being friends to other people, and maybe she's heard about it, but like,
Turn on the closed captions. Thank you, 𝗵𝗄𝗃.
I wouldn't go up to her and be like fuck you, like shit like that. Because even after 10th grade, I was dating this girl 𝗟𝗄𝗃, and we all went to Cedar Point, me, Dom, Kenzie, and 𝗟𝗄𝗃. You know what I'm saying?
Laura,
I never had a problem with
good to see you, love.
Kenzie even after all of that stuff. Because we went to Cedar Point with us four probably in like 11th grade. And I remember we were at Cedar Point, and we were all about to get on the ride.
You get detention, Kay.
She couldn't just wait for him to get off the phone call. And she was
Good
like,
to see you, love.
get on this right now. Or like, she was sitting there, she's like, I can't right now. And I was like, do you want us to just wait for him to get off the phone? She's like, no, you guys can just go. And then we go on the ride and we come back. And she like kicked Dom away from us to where it was just me, 𝗟𝗄𝗃, and Kenzie. And she was just like, I'm about to break up with him and just leave him. Like, she was just saying stuff like that. And then like, I texted Dom.
Very toxic. And from part one, we know that, you know, there was times that she was caught literally putting her hands on him throughout the relationship. She was trying to key his car.
Because she was sitting there, she's always threatened and was disrespectful to Dom in my eyes.
Why did Dom put up with this? Do you know?
I've personally been told that she did voodoo on him. I mean, I personally don't believe that, but she has told people that she put a spell on him so that he couldn't break up with her. And she would tell people that she had like grabbed a piece of his hair and that she had a doll in her room for Dom, and that she had literally put a spell on him. But she would tell everyone. Like, she truly believed in that kind of stuff. And she also uses the pendulum, I know too.
This is the ex-boyfriend.
She tries to use it now to talk to Dom, because I'm friends with I'm related to Dom by religion and law. He's my like god cousin-in-law. So like
God cousin-in-law.
Yeah,
I heard that.
I've never heard of that.
I actually just heard. I recently heard.
This is wild.
Yeah, because my godmother 𝗵𝗂𝗃, and then 𝗵𝗂𝗃 is about to marry Johnny, which is someone in Dom's family. So that would have made him my cousin-in-law.
So let me ask you this.
Meow. Behave, meow.
In talking to your mom.
Hello, Brady. Good to see you.
You mentioned that there were threats that
Hello,
Mackenzie
Jim.
made
Hello.
toward you.
Brady, I'm glad you made it.
I honestly don't know why my mom ended up coming to the police station, because like, she's also like, I mean, I understand why, because she's related to Dom and them, but like, you know, I would have rather just came to you guys myself and told you my story instead of her trying to get whatever she got out of it. Because when I talked to her, it was the day that they died. So like, anything that I talked about, out of emotions or something.
Out of emotions.
Yeah,
but did you mention anything to her about Mackenzie threatening you?
I've mentioned that she's threatened Dom, but not.
We know she has threatened Dom. We saw the video of her saying she was going to key his car.
Like I said, like at Cedar Point, she was threatening him to like leave him there and stuff like that. And then like going back to it, we were in this candy shop, and this was after they had gotten over arguing and everything like that. She was like, either buy me something or shut the fuck up. No one's trying to listen to you. Like, she just basically like used them to forge money almost. And on her TikTok and stuff, Dom would always buy her designer, and she would always post on her TikTok as if she bought the designer, and she would be like calling out other people, trying to call them broke with her stuff and stuff like that. And I don't know, she's just kind of like all over it.
Did she have money?
I don't. She didn't have no job. I mean, she worked with my stepsister at Dunkin' Donuts for a little bit. That's all I know. And then she like.
Thank you, Brady. I'm glad you made it, love.
She was just rude to everyone. Like all of it. Like she just didn't care. Like she was just rude to people, and she didn't work there no more then.
So the threats to Dom, were any of them threats other than "I'm gonna dump you"? Like, were there ever threats, like threats of harm?
Cat TV, hello.
She's probably, I don't know. I think she's only threatened to harm herself. I don't really think she said that she was gonna kill him or anything like that. That's why I think she was trying to kill herself.
Okay. Do you guys think she was trying to unalive herself in that accident? Do you think so? Hello, Pantera. Good to see you. I saw Cat TV pop in here. Hello, hello. I saw Jim. How do you find the cases? Yeah, Randall's like, good to see you, Pantera. Okay, do you think she was trying to unalive herself? A, do you think she was a deliberate, cold-blooded murder? 2B, or do you think she was mentally ill and it was truly, genuinely an accident? What do you think? I don't think she knew she would make it. We're hearing that a lot from these interrogations, that she had some issues with that. Kind of agree with that, Ajam. Good to see you, Cat TV.
How do you know she was in an argument with Dom?
I don't know that. That's just what I think.
Okay.
Because the Life 360 said they were going. I mean, to go down that road 120, like, I feel like you got to be just like mad or something, because like, what are you doing? Like,
so let's go on. Let me ask you about this. Her driving. I mean, you said Strawberry is 35.
She's reckless for sure. My girlfriend would drive with her. She's like, in general. So like, that obviously is a part of it. But to be going down a progress 100 is also not just reckless driving. Like, there's got to be something going on for you to just be. It's not just a fun factor. Like, because Davion and Dom weren't that stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, they would have said something. I feel like.
When you rode with her, did you ever see her get into road rage incidents? Did you ever?
Yeah.
We know there was road rage incidents.
Like a continuous roadways, but it's like, come on, like you're going like, you know,
just screaming at people.
Yeah,
So how often did you? So I know you dated. Were you ever in the car with her?
I was only in the car with her a couple times, really, and her driving the Cedar Point being one of them.
Oh, how was that?
Yeah, that was the time where she was just like aggravated and stuff like just from like on the way home, for example, she's obviously agitated from the argument with her and John and stuff like that, and it's just kind of like, yo, chill out, Mackenzie, like just drive.
Like, is she just a fast driver, or is she like not a good driver?
No, she's toxic.
I just like she's careless in general with everything.
When you were with her and hung out with her, did you ever know her to make fun of people, be mean to people?
Everyone can say that. Everyone can vouch for that. Like,
Because she was a bully.
Like, that's like everyone tries to make it out that like people are and stuff like that. Like, I know that.
Killer Slag.
Davion and Don died for some reason. And stuff like that. She was saying.
And Dragonfly.
Trying to get people to hurt her and stuff.
I see you.
She was instantly coming out to get me. I'm just like, bro, like leave me alone. Like I'm not trying to deal with you and what's going on right now. Like, I'm literally like, that was part of the reasons why I kind of didn't want to come in here and talk about her, is because I don't want to be dealing with extra stuff with her. I don't want someone to know her. I want to talk to the police, and she's out there trying to make more rumors. Like, Dom obviously was cool with me because Dom was trying to help me buy my car and stuff like that. Like, the car that I have now, Dom helps me find. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it just makes no sense to say Dom wasn't cool with me.
Right.
And then I know that she did the pendulum, which is to talk to Dom. Like, after he's dead, she did the pendulum.
Whoa.
Anthony and Abby.
And so what came of that?
Anthony, he asked it.
What
Really liked me. And then he said that her jaw dropped, and Abby also told me the same thing, that Kenzie liked me.
Who's Abby and who's?
This is a reminder: be careful who you date, because he be spilling all the tea here.
He is Dom's cousin.
I'm just saying. Be a smart ass.
Gotcha. So,
Oops.
when they did the pendulum thing, your understanding.
Yikes.
Did anybody ask what caused the accident?
I mean, I don't want anyone in the family to get mad at me from what they have personally told me, because I know that people in his family believe in the pendulum, so I don't want to.
What the?
No, we know that they do. I know his dad does.
Yeah, and his
Whoa.
dad said that he did the pendulum, and that he said that Dom doesn't want anything to happen to her, and he said that Dom forgives her, and that he also said Dom said that she's gonna be okay, that nothing's gonna happen to her. Like,
Okay, this is something else.
This basically is what they said at the pendulums.
Okay.
But I think Uncle Frank is kind of, which is Dom's dad. I just refer to him like Uncle Frank. I think he's kind of just like, because when I talk to him because
This
he
is
was
some
saying
dark
that,
shit.
I went and vandalized the memorial, which is not true at all. Like I would never, like, why would I go and vandalize it? She kept on making tons of stuff up about me. I don't know why. Like I really don't. And it kind of just hurt me more. Like, cause like why? Like I don't know if it's because I dated her before too. Like, or I don't know what it is. Like, but I talked to Uncle Frank, and he said that he was gonna talk to Kenzie and make sure everything stops. And he was just like, everyone talking shit about each other is just gonna keep things going and keep people mad at each other. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Like, I haven't talked to anybody about anything. Like, I've just been trying to handle this on my own. Like, because I was really closer to Davion than I was Dom. I was just getting close with Dom again. But
So since her arrest, what's the chatter? What's being said?
nothing really. I ever since I talked to Uncle Frank, I haven't heard her say anything about me really, which was low key like the first month it happened really. Like that's after I talked to Uncle Frank, everything that she said about me stopped kind of. So which that made me like feel
You
better.
ever talked to Dominic's mom?
No, I haven't talked to Dominic's mom. I know that she feels differently than Frank does, though. I'm pretty sure. Like she feels basically the opposite of how he feels. But when I talked to Uncle Frank, he was telling me like he feels cheated in a way too, because every time he would go to hang out with Dom, he was busy doing something with Kenzie, which was also the case for me. Every time I asked him to hang out, I don't think he wanted to hang out because he didn't want to hang out with me and Kenzie, because I think he knew like he got the idea that Kenzie didn't really like me. I think he
Wow.
kind of played an act as in not liking me when he was around Kenzie, because I don't know why Kenzie would go around and actually believe that he didn't like me. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like,
It sounds like she was a lot of drama and very toxic with their friend group and with him and Dom.
So
Hey, Griselda. Good to see you,
what are
girl.
have you witnessed or
Dragonfly
heard any
here in
violence
detention.
from your girlfriend? You mentioned your girlfriend about Mackenzie driving.
yeah, my girlfriend just said that he's a bad driver. Really. Just over like.
Any examples where people were like, I'm being in the car with her?
I remember one instance that, because I'm pretty sure Rosie Graham, her dad's a cop, and this was after Kenzie had crashed. She was saying something about like she was basically making fun of Rosie going the speed limit, like after she had crashed, and it's like, what are you saying, bro? Like, what do you mean? Like, I'm trying to remember exactly what she said, but she was just saying something like, oh, you're going 35 right now, and you're only going like on parole basically, like, and it's just like, bro, what do you mean only? Like, that's the speed limit. There's a speed limit for a reason. Like, if you was going the speed limit, that would have never happened. Like, that wouldn't have been as bad as.
Wait, I don't follow the speed limit all the time, but I don't go 100.
Everybody could still be alive right now. We had Davion's like through 60. It didn't tell us that he crashed. It should have told us, but like even if it did told us and we were going 35, someone could have came and did something, because all of our friends were out in Colorado. So it was a 2-hour time difference.
Not me self-snitching.
Notification and everything, and been able to get a hold of one of us or something. Like I just don't understand why she was going that fast.
She was on a suicide mission.
It's just wild to me that she's still reckless and just posting on her Instagram.
I'm sorry, one. I can't.
And I still haven't seen her post anything about Davion even. She posted one picture, but it was Dom in the picture with her and Davion, so it wasn't even. She hasn't posted Davion's GoFundMe. She didn't post like she hasn't said anything about Davion at all, which is just like crazy to me. Like,
Hi, Mo.
completely like ignorant to the fact that she not only did that to Dom, the person that was literally taking care of her, but our friend Davion, who was also going through stuff.
Totally.
Safely
innocent,
speak.
too.
Good words.
And then he was a third party. He had nothing to do with the two of them.
Let me ask you this. Was she depressed when you guys were dating? I mean, you mentioned that she was
Yeah, I mean, I figured she was because she would just say stuff like, "I can't get high anymore," and I'm not getting it. Like, I keep on just smoking, and I can't get.
Wow.
Like
She
she
can't get high.
developed a tolerance to it?
Yeah, she was just saying like she can't feel any better from it, basically, and that just so much is going on for her.
We know she was always smoking.
So like, I can't imagine like.
Did her parents know she smoked weed?
Yeah, her parents definitely knew she smoked weed.
How do you know that?
Don't ask me how I feel about mom.
I didn't care.
Yeah, I mean, they cared, but they just spoiled her, so it's like they just kind of let her do whatever. Like obviously at the time she should not have been really just doing whatever she wanted. That's kind of why I feel like whatever did now. She just always did what she wanted. She talks to everyone how she wanted. Like we were swimming over at the falls in Homestead Falls, and you're not supposed to be swimming over there. And cops came. And she was just sitting there being disrespectful the whole time, just on her phone. And we're like, Kenzie, bro, like, we're not supposed to be swimming here. Why are you being disrespectful to them? Like, do you want to get us a ticket? Like, what is wrong with you? Why are you just always like this? Like, even everybody at the organization, like, that's not the way you're supposed to be. And like the first time when she came over my house, she was cursing in front of my parents, which made my parents like not really like her and stuff like that.
Really?
So like. Yeah, I mean, she wasn't like being like rude to them or nothing, but she was just like being careless around my little brother and my parents, like just saying shit and shit like that, like damn and like fuck, like because she just like just spoiled and does whatever they want. That's what she's used to. So she's never really listened to nobody. She's never.
Did you ever know her parents to discipline her, ground her, take her phone away, anything?
They never disciplined her in any way. They spoiled her for sure.
Wow.
I liked her parents though. Her parents are really nice, obviously. Like they wanted to take care of her and just treat her like a princess, but you can't always do that.
Right.
Did you ever know her to use any drugs besides marijuana?
I mean, I've heard that she used coke at parties and stuff like that. That's it. Or a trip.
Oof.
I knew that Dom didn't like her tripping and stuff like that though, because she has epilepsy or she can have seizures or something like that. So Dom didn't really ever want her tripping. I know that.
So I'm sure you've heard. At this point, it's public record, but there were some shrooms found.
Yeah, there was shrooms the night of the accident in her car.
I mean, I don't know what happened that night. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Davion had texted me that day. And he said, "Do you want to?"
There were shrooms in the car, and they found THC in her system, but no shrooms at the time. But apparently, she was doing all kinds of things.
Take acid with me.
She must have been going through something mentally.
I just said, "Hit me up later, bro." I was like, "I'm busy right now," and that was the last time I even texted Davion. I'm assuming they didn't take acid because people were saying they had shrooms, so that kind of like steered me away from all that stuff. Like, I don't even think I can touch that stuff again now because of that. Because like, I don't know, like I don't want to.
Just remind you.
Right. Because like, if they wasn't like maybe like, cause I don't know if Kenzie was tripping or not, but like, if she was, like, that could have maybe even been avoided too, or like, I just don't understand why she was. Like they let her get that fast. I don't know if Davion and Dom were tripping and that's why they couldn't prevent the crash or something like that. So like that's just like why I don't like
100 miles per hour into a building.
So you think an argument happened in the car?
I mean, yeah.
I mean, you know all of them.
Yeah.
A lot of people believe that there was an argument in the car and that Dominic was also very aggressive. I'm just reporting what I did find when I was doing a deep dive. I don't necessarily know what I believe yet. I do believe there's something going on and she's very toxic. What happened in the car, now we'll never know. We'll never know. It's just a very, very interesting case. And horrifying. Madness.
And like me and Joey always talked about it. We're like, bro, Dom has so much going for himself. Like, why does
there was shrooms in the car? Yeah, you're right, Corso.
Like Dom is an intelligent person.
Explain something to me real quick though. They get into an argument. Okay. They argue, but why drive the building?
That's why I
Thank you,
like
Jeff.
kill herself is
I
like
do need a new
she
TV.
wasn't trying to kill them. I feel like she was trying to kill herself, and she just had no regard for Davion because of that's just how she is. Like that's just what I like.
Are your friend group or maybe some high school kids? I mean, we've spoken to many, but those you did, you think this is the consensus that she tried to kill herself?
I think the consensus is that she did it on purpose.
She did it on
I don't
purpose.
know why.
That's what people think.
Yeah, people think that she crashed out. Like at least in our friend group, kind of like that's we don't really know exactly what happened because we don't know like if she tried to swerve or anything like that. But like we like when it first happened, that's definitely what everyone thought was she was trying to do it on purpose. Like that was the first thing that went into everyone's heads is like she had to have been trying to kill herself when she did that. Because why do you just do that? Like it's not like it was completely dark. There was that sign that was lit up right in the front. Like you saw that sign. It wasn't
You guys knew
completely
more
dark.
before we.
Alfane's in detention too.
Before we even had any idea about the speed and any of that.
I was right.
A bunch of people who had access to Life 360.
I mean, yeah, there was like
sent us screenshots saying, "Look how fast they went." We had no idea at the time.
Yeah, there was probably like 14 people in our Life 360 because
You're good, Kay. Good to see you, Kay.
They all saw that speed down
yeah,
progress.
we didn't even find out that they crashed because of the Life 360 though. Like we should have found out, but the crash detection only works if the drive was over a mile long and if their phone has more than 20% and they don't have low power mode on. And when they crash, it's supposed to call everybody's phone, like everyone that's in the
Oh, no
360.
kidding. Oh, I didn't know that.
And it's supposed to also send out an emergency dispatch because we pay for the premium. Like in our little group, we all just pay $2 a month.
You guys got nothing.
And we got nothing.
Wow.
It was either she got over there too quickly because it was too short of a drive for it to have to register the crash, or Davion's phone was in low power mode. So
Intentional homicide, vile.
It didn't alert us though. It was supposed to, but I was told that his heart tore instantly, so it didn't matter anyways. Like whether it did tell us that they crashed or not, I was told that Davion died on impact. So
they both died on impact, Davion and Dominic.
I ended up finding out when I was at Cedar Point the next day, and my friend Joey called me and he was like, "Yo," and I was like, "I'm busy right now." He's like, "It's kind of important." He's like, Davion's sister's friend just texted me and said Davion died in a car accident this morning. I'm like, Davion's sister's friend? I'm like, what? I'm like, I didn't really believe it at first because like that's a weird chain of line. And then I was just trying to call people. I tried calling Davion, and then I tried calling Dom, and both of their phones went to voicemail. And then I called Kyle, which was like Dom's best friend, and then he told
Yes,
me.
Laura.
Yeah. And then he told me that they crashed.
So let me ask you this: we received a tip from somebody who's been very reliable that you were threatened by Mackenzie's mom, not talking to the police.
No, I haven't been threatened by Kenzie's mom.
Were you threatened by anyone? Anyone tell you don't talk to the cops?
No.
Any type of like witness intimidation?
Did she ever ask you? Maybe not threaten you, but say.
What I've told people is I don't want to talk to the police because I'm.
Sorry, that's the body cam footage.
I don't even see Kenzie's mom.
Don't come for me.
Kenzie's mom.
I do not control it. I'm not the officer.
I like Kenzie's mom is super. Her house, like I feel like Kenzie's mom.
At work for them.
Her dad was more of an authoritative figure. Like her dad would try to
Don't
push her, but
come for me.
she was still spoiled. So like her dad didn't really want her smoking weed and stuff like that. I know when she did smoke weed, her dad wouldn't let her vape.
Wait, where did the closed captions go? Oh, there was just one there.
Did you see her out and about? I know there were pictures that we got.
I've tried to avoid anywhere she would be because of everything that she's been saying to everyone, that I'm trying to hurt her and stuff like that. So I just don't want to get more stuff put out for no reason. So like I've only been to the graveyard one time because I know that she goes there a lot, and I just didn't want to run into her. So I only went to that spot one time, and then I I just didn't go there.
Did she get to the graveyard? Did she drive?
Like, her friends would pick her up. I'm pretty sure, like random friends would pick her up and take her, and she.
I think so too, Kat.
Wheelchair,
TV.
And like then other people would be sending pictures to me of her posting on private stories of her at parties and stuff like that. Like, I know that she's been to 2 concerts since. My stepsister seen her at the Playboy Cardi concert.
Do you have any of those pictures?
No, I don't. I got a new phone since, because that's why I couldn't call you guys back, was because my mic was broke on my phone. So
Last thing I have here. Landon Turner.
he was it was.
Hello, Scott. I hope you feel better.
I was asking him, like, what happened, bro? I'm like, you have to.
Good to see you.
I was a little mad about everything. I'm like, you were with them last, like I feel like it could have went different ways, because I was supposed to be with them that night technically if I did trip with them. And then I was at Joey's house that night too, and Davion was supposed to stay the night at Joey's, but his mom didn't let him, so I had to leave Joey's house, and Davion just ended up staying with Dom and Kenzie. And then I was talking to Bubba, and he was sitting there telling everyone, he was like, I was about to ask Davion to just stay the night with me. I don't know why I didn't. Like, stuff like that. And Bubba lived with it, or Davion lived with Bubba for a little bit too, which is Landon. And so it was just like weird to me when he wouldn't tell people like really what happened that night. His stories were, at first he was like against Kenzie, but the girl that he's dating, Rosie, is like one of Kenzie's like better friends. I wouldn't say best friend, because I don't really know like her friend group or nothing like that, but I know that Rosie was with her a lot in that Dom's house. So I feel like he started telling this to Kenzie after the first day, because his girlfriend told him or something like that. And then his stories just kind of started switching up, and then he started acting weird about it. I'm like, were they arguing when they left, bro? I was like, and then he was telling me at first that they were arguing when they left, like there was a
Wow.
or there was a dispute, but then the next day he completely changed the story, and he was just saying that Davion and Dom were asleep, and then they woke up, and Kenzie didn't go to sleep at all. She was like drawing or something like that. She was just coloring in coloring books, and then they left the house. And then
And he told you this?
That's what he told everybody.
So he told everybody?
We were all at, like, everyone was at the memorial for like a week straight or so. So like that's kind of like what.
So that his tune changed?
Yeah, it definitely.
During the investigation, they believed that she had deliberately planned this whole thing out. They caught her on surveillance, driving this route. I think it was like 2 weeks prior to the accident or the crash. And then I think like 3 days prior as well. So I might be wrong on the dates, but there's surveillance evidence of her scoping the scene out where the crash happened. Yes, it is her. This is Mackenzie's ex-boyfriend.
Because Kyle had asked him first, like, what really happened, and he lied to Kyle at first about something. I'm like, you need to go tell Kyle the truth. Like, that was Dom's best friend. I was like, Kyle deserves to know. I was like, whatever you told him, I'm like, you need to go and correct. And like, I guess he went and talked to Kyle. I don't really know necessarily if they talked about anything. But I just know that he was all over the place with his stories is what I know.
But his first story, immediately after the crash, was that there was an argument? Yeah, I was being told that there was a dispute and that like things were a little weird when they left. And he also, like, I know Dom texted everyone that night that he loved them. He texted Kyle, I love you. He texted Angelo, I love you. And he also texted his dad, I love you, I'm pretty sure. And he also might have texted Blair, his other good friend.
What is he saying?
Which is just, kind of out of the ordinary, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Davion also texted his dad, I love you.
Like they knew they were going to die?
He told Bubba, I love you, before he left Bubba.
Or they knew they were going to die subconsciously?
So, do you think Mackenzie has it in her to drive a car into a wall? I mean, if you guys speculate that she did it on purpose, do you think she has it in her?
I feel like if she thinks that she can just drive the car into the wall and not feel nothing, like 100 to the wall.
Whoa.
The reason she survived is because of how small she is. Like, I feel like she got insanely lucky, but at the same time not lucky to have survived that, because it's like she killed 2 people. If that was what she was trying to do, but it's like I kind of feel like that's what she was trying to do, was crush the car into the wall.
There was something I was going to ask.
She seems like she always wanted to do it to someone, so then she did.
Do you knew Dom and you knew Davion pretty well. Did they ever talk about hurting themselves?
No, never.
So you don't see a scenario in which the 3 of them make like a suicide pact.
That's why it was all weird that they all said
A suicide pact?
No.
Davion would have never did that. Davion had gotten kicked out, and then he had just went back to his family's house, and the only reason he didn't go on vacation with his family was so he could stay home and work, because he just got a new job.
Yeah. Okay, so you don't. So
Davion was over my house when he was kicked out like every single day after school.
So they had a lot going for him.
Did Joey tell you anything about his relationship with Mackenzie?
I mean, like, not like since it's happened, but like before it.
That is one theory I will not accept. I do not believe that Davion and Dominic asked for this. I do not believe that. They made a pact, whether there was something violent going on in the car. I could possibly believe that. I believe that Davion was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. Do believe he was collateral damage. They all partied, smoked a bunch of weed, drank alcohol, etc. the night before. So,
like, when we were all friends and like things were normal, like, yeah, I mean, we all.
I don't believe it was a suicide pact.
No reason. He has her blocked on Snapchat. Like, he's had her blocked even way before this incident, just because he says that she's annoying and he just doesn't want to deal with her and have to, like, you know what I'm saying? He just doesn't want communication with her. Like, so he just had her.
Okay. You get spankings in detention.
Never killed himself. Dom had way more going for him, so
right.
I don't think.
She was definitely the cause of this. I agree.
From everybody. All right. Well, hey, man, I'm gonna let the prosecutor know that you came down to talk to us, so there will not be a subpoena or a warrant or anything like that.
Oh.
Grand jury, so you're all set. You confirmed pretty much everything that we knew. I appreciate your time. Hopefully.
Okay, so that was the ex-boyfriend. Now I'm going to, share this. This is Mackenzie on the screen. I'm going to go through the PowerPoint that I made when we did the deep dive real quick. For those of you who are not familiar. Mackenzie Shirilla on the screen. We deep dived into who she was in the past, what her friends thought. Make sure you go watch part 1. They were in a very toxic relationship. Mackenzie and Dominic on the screen. It is linked to this video. So details about the brutal crash. That was a picture of the crash, state's exhibit. All of this is in the deep dive. This is Dominic Russo on the screen. This is who Mackenzie was dating at the time of the crash. In the front seat, this is Davion Flanagan. I do have his GoFundMe linked in the first deep dive. If you need to get caught up, there's a lot of controversy. We talk about it all through part 1. Let me pull up. We're going to watch Angelo Russo, which is Dom's brother. He gives an audio interview. So we're going to listen to it. It's very sad to see. Yes. Yes. Those are crime scene photos too. This is the brother of Dominic, who was unalived in the accident in the front seat, her boyfriend at the time.
Even in later years where, Dom's old enough to he wasn't of drinking age, but he can go to bars and hang out and stuff, even though he couldn't drink and stuff. And
let me start it over because we missed something. Sorry, I had to start over. It was like 1 second behind.
I forget if she was in 8th or 9th grade when she met Dom. I think I would say since she was in 9th grade. Okay. Like early 9th grade, I think that they did initially meet when she was.
We're gonna watch Mackenzie's mom later. But we know I'm not a big fan.
I think they just met as whatever. The first time I was introduced to her as oh, whatever, this is my girlfriend or whatever. It was high school.
Gotcha.
Hey, probation officers, good to see you.
Did you talk to her?
Glad you made it. Thanks for being here.
Earlier years of their relationship, we were much more close. she would like come to me with a lot of stuff, like kind of talk to me like a big brother, you know. And
So his brothers who got
there's
killed
many
in the car
times,
accident.
like they were having issues even years ago where Dom would want to break up with her or something, and it wouldn't be like that simple. It'd be like, you know, like from time to time again, it almost like she'd have like issues, you know, like self-esteem issues, like
Oh,
she'd get crazy about stuff, like accuse him of cheating and stuff when he's not, you know what I mean, stuff like that. And just then for a while, you know, I would talk to her, and you know what I mean, then it would be like not constant, but there'd be like every like week, like couple weeks at one point, or like week or so, where they were almost breaking up, and then she'd be threatening to hurt herself. And this is
wow.
she's in probably 10th grade, like she's still a sophomore. Dom's like a junior.
I have to say, I believe the mom and the parents, her parents played a big role. I'm not judging anyone. It's just my opinion. We know how I feel about the mom. Asain said, you're a big fan. I'm not a big fan, actually. That was sarcastic, but yeah, the whole court thing with the mom and the social media and the fact that Mackenzie was in the hospital after the crash and she was looking for an Instagram modeling gig while Dominic and Davion's family is getting ready to start thinking about planning a funeral. And the lack of empathy is just, it's wild to me. I sometimes wonder how Mackenzie became the way that she was. What made her the way that she was?
Like, yeah, stuff would arise, and it would like never really take like a healthy course, to be honest with you.
Okay.
And over time, my relationship with her really subsided. I stopped talking to her. I stopped like really trying to be there for
I
her,
agree,
because
𝗵𝐶.
ultimately I just seen that she was very, very selfish. You know what I mean? Like, for me, you know, like there's two types of love that you give somebody, and it's like I love that person unconditionally, and I want to see them prosper and be happy no matter what.
I know,
that
Asain.
entails for
I know
me.
you're being
And there's a
sarcastic.
type of love that's selfish and restricted, and I want them all to myself. And that was Kenzie with Dom. It was the latter, not the first step.
So they did break up. Sorry to interrupt. They were broken up. Dom had tried to break up with her, and that's when we saw the clip in deep dive part 1, where she says, "You better let me in the house or I'm going to key your car." He was already breaking it off with her. The night that they went to the party, smoked a bunch of weed, and this car crash happened, they had just recently reconciled. They had just gotten back together. I believe this. I believe it.
Times where even in later years, where you know Dom's old enough to like, you know, like he wasn't of drinking age, but he can go to bars and hang out and stuff, even though he couldn't like drink and stuff. And there would be times, you know, that one of my friends, because I'm 23, would be having a birthday party, and she would like forbid him from going, and it'd be all just my buddies, you know, because she'd be like, oh, there's probably going to be girls there. Well, if it's a bar, there's probably going to be girls there, yes, and there's probably going to be men there. It's going to be it's a public place, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
So she was very insecure.
she got weird over him going to public places, would like a lot of stuff.
Okay.
But all of that stuff like led me from distancing myself from her, because it just became a thing where I couldn't help her in my eyes, because she was always stuck on like a selfish path, like wouldn't like listen to me or take my advice, you know. And even
I see some of you sitting in the, you know, you've dealt with toxic relationships. Definitely. I can speak for that. This is on another level though, for sure.
like
The unaliving yourself, all of that.
like, even in like the aspect of like it's better to have loved
Those
the
are
loss than
some
never have
psychological
loved at all, you know?
issues, I believe.
She never got that. It's always like, no, blah 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 blah. Like,
Feel free to share.
I'll never let him go, kind of thing.
Sharing is caring.
So, let's go back to the crazy part. You mentioned that anytime Dom would kind of want to break up with her, she kind of would go crazy. Describe crazy. Like what kind of crazy?
Like there is times where she called Dom and said, if you break up with me, I'm going to kill myself. Word for word.
Wow.
And then Dom, he was a very, very selfless person, and he did, like, obviously, like, they were together for a long time, and they built like a relationship, and they cared for each other deeply. You see what I'm saying? And even though Dom did care for her deeply, I'm not disputing any of that, but he's seen all the toxicness that she was putting onto him, and every single time he would try to distance himself, like, from that and say, hey, we could be friends, this and that, blah blah blah, still here for you, like, you know, but like, I want to break up or whatever, she would say stuff like that.
So how do you know that? And if you don't mind me asking, so she told you, or
she's told me, he's told me, they both told me.
Okay.
Like, this is her not recently, because like I said, like, we haven't been you know, close in like a long time, but I mean, I've gotten like new phones since, so I don't have like text the records on here. But if you went through the service provider or whatever, you can even find text records a couple of years ago of just like me having long paragraph texts with her, telling her like this and that, and trying to like be
Laura,
and nice to her about
I hate when people try to do that, try to get you into staying with them.
I mean,
On
it's
that-
a while ago.
on that
I agree.
note, before we go, have you had the same number, even though you got a new phone? Has you've saved that number? What is your phone number?
I agree.
So when was the last time she kind of expressed that to you about
Dragonfly.
wanting to kill herself if Dom?
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Like, I had her on Snapchat, blocked her on Snapchat.
I love you, Dragonfly.
For a while, I had her phone number blocked, because even I'd be with Dom, and she would nonstop blow up my phone, trying to say like, where is he, blah blah blah. Like, he'd miss one of her calls. He'd be driving or something, and he'd miss like one of her calls, and I'd have to call her on my phone and be like, hey, relax, we're going to get some food, and it'd be like a whole, even that would be like a thing. You know what I mean?
His family would block her.
You know,
That's
6
wild.
months or so.
Pretty
Yeah.
much. I mean,
Someone asked how old. Mackenzie was 17 at the time of the crash. Dominic was 20, and Davion was 19.
I mean, pretty much I'd seen her at Dom's house like every night almost, you know. Even like at times when like me and him, because you know Dom like making music and stuff. So every time's like me, him, and his buddy Blair, we all, you know, like sing together and stuff like that. We'd be in this room with the mic and all that, making music, and she's just sleeping on the couch by herself. Like, it's like, I don't know if that's like, I never really asked Dom like, is she living here or anything, but she's definitely at his house way more than her own, even at.
She ended up moving in with them.
Do you know if she has
At
any
17,
property at
she
the
was living
house?
with his family.
Clothes, makeup, stuff like that.
Oh yes, for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Still all there.
Yeah,
I was free to do whatever I want, and I would misbehave, but if I tried to move in with someone at like 17, I'm pretty sure my dad would probably come looking for me. I'm like, I don't know necessarily that he would be okay with that. I also did what I wanted, and I was a rebel, but I also don't think that, and some people are different. Maybe your parents do like to smoke. That's fine. I'm not judging anyone. Do what you want. But I wasn't allowed to do it, so I feel like the dynamic between her and her parents is a little different from what I'm used to. But I feel like we saw in the courtroom, the social media, something's off.
Yeah.
Very much. Melody the rebel, not me being the rebel.
I just couldn't do. I haven't been in there
Always.
since I got as close to the
Always. I hardly ever behave.
do it. So
Has anyone else had access to the house?
Watch.
Just you two? Okay.
I haven't been there
Watch
in
at your own
honestly,
discretion.
It's been hard for me.
You
honestly,
choose.
too,
Yeah.
but-
Has her attorney reached out to you about the? Because they have reached out to me, and I said we're not getting involved in this.
Oh, to try to go over there?
Yeah, because they wanted her driver's license, and we said first her dad reached out to us a couple times, and I said, at best, you can come request an escort. We'll call Miss Russo. If she says yes, we could arrange it. If she says no, we're done.
Okay, I'm very interested in this comment that probation officers just said. He said, I've had my share of crazies that threaten to harm themselves if I break up with them. Mental manipulation. I've also dealt with that. It's like so damaging, right? We think we're just dating this person that says things like that, but I feel like because you become familiar with it, it's almost like, I don't know. sometimes I think like, is that how everyone is? I know. Not us getting into like this toxic relationship talk, but I feel like it's very much that in this case. So yeah, I agree with you. Probation officers have a lot to say about that. Facts, yeah.
And then last time when he was kind of getting under my skin, I said,
Good to see you,
"No, we're
Juicer.
not getting involved in this." And so he had his lawyer call me.
Emotional sabotage, I agree.
It was the old lawyer from
Yep,
Columbus, and I
facts.
told him the exact same thing. I said, this is not a criminal matter. We're not getting in the middle of this civil stuff. Right now, emotions are high. The Russos are grieving.
And I just want to say that's okay. Like the fact that we go through all of this, and that's what my channel is about. And so I feel like we shouldn't judge people based on that, and we shouldn't like make any comments based on that. But we all experience things differently, right? And we all take things in differently, and we all react to PTSD differently, and trauma differently, and violence differently. Whether you experience it or not, I feel like, or you're watching it, we just have to be mindful of what other people go through, right?
This is not the right time to get her driver's license. Yeah, I mean, it's just, so I know her DL is still in Dom's house.
What was
I-
that?
But why wouldn't anybody even say anything to me? And let me tell you, that rotten son of a bitch father of hers never said a freaking word to me. I bumped into them at the cemetery.
Wow.
Of course, my place have to bump into him. And that bastard never even said, hello, how are you? I'm sorry. Nothing. Radio silence.
That's about her dad.
Not a word.
If
We
it
saw her
came
dad
to it,
in the
would you
part
have
one. He was
thought
acting a
of
little
us coming over
bratty
and
with the
taking some
police.
Pictures of her things in there.
Or if you want to take
or
fresh
you
pictures,
take them,
just get them
if
to
you
us.
or if you're okay to go in there
To
I
show
know
her
I'm-
living there.
Yeah, we really want to show
Makeup, what clothes does she have, like a jacket, or does she have like underwear and stuff where it establishes
toothbrush,
residence?
makeup, right?
She had clothes at
Dominic's
my
mom.
house, which remember, I always maintained the room for Dom. His own
Right.
room, it's still there. But she had clothes at my house. I would be washing clothes, and I was washing her clothes. I can say that. And that was before he even moved next door.
Wait.
We kind of just considered it all our big house.
Pause. My boyfriend's mom is not going to be washing my clothes. That makes me very uncomfortable. Who is this Mackenzie girl? Please don't. Who's leaving? Oh, you mean like the relationship? You better stay here, Pantera. You're stuck. That rotten SOB father. Mackenzie's father. Okay. If you missed part one, go back and watch him acting out some
Because he
police.
just could not sleep in the same house with Christopher. They just had a conflict, and
Right.
it just
Right.
stressed him out too much. So
Well, and it's kind of nice that it was right next door and he could just stay there and
and come over for breakfast and dinner and the whole bit. And,
We just want to establish that residence.
What the heck?
Oh, yeah, well,
We
I
want
know
to
in-
show that
it's
proceeding to crash.
multiple places, so you know. So there's, I remember seeing shoes in the living room.
I'm like the opposite.
know
I'm
there
like,
was
don't
purses
touch
in the
my
back
shit.
room, because when we were looking for his clothes and shoes, that's when I brought it up, and then I would like I was ready to just take it and throw the stuff out, and then I said, well, I don't know where this came from. I don't know who gave it to her, and I just put everything back. So I have touched the stuff,
Yes,
but
okay.
I left it where I found
I
it.
got it.
And then, so at least in 2 rooms for sure.
If you can maybe either take a recording of it or take pictures of it, we just want to be able to establish
She's
because
living
her
as an
dad
adult.
slip of a tongue, and he's like, oh, she's been living with.
Okay, I
and then
see you,
mom right
Pantera.
away kind of jumped in, was like, no,
Something-
she just visited him.
Something else too is I know this isn't obviously that you're gonna protect your own daughter in this instance, but I had a buddy who went and seen Kenzie in the hospital actually, and was like, how's it going, blah blah blah, and then as soon as something did come up about the crash, her mom shut it down and said oh, we can't speak of any of that because of legality matters. There was a point in time where I was texting her mom directly about her daughter's problems, about Kenzie's problems, saying this and that. I remember at the time her parents were trying to give her antidepressants, okay? And she was already getting antidepressants since I believe middle school. All right. And teenage girls, they have a lot of drama going on. And to me, to be honest, her drama didn't seem any more than a normal teenage girl that just might be like a little high strung.
No, I didn't
So
act like this.
I
I was wild,
she
but not
was
like
on, I
this.
think it was Zoloft or Prozac, one of the two, I forget, for like over a year. And well, she hasn't taken them in
Okay, so she was on Zoloft and Prozac. So we're missing something here. We saw the body cam footage. We're missing something here that either happened in her childhood or why her parents are with her the way that they are, or something in that dynamic. Do you just come out of the womb and you need antidepressants? Again, is it nurture versus nature? What do you believe? I absolutely believe there's a lot more here. We'll never know either. You know, we don't live each other's lives, but I feel like there's a lot more here that we don't know about why Mackenzie is the way that she is.
forever either. But
Behavior
this
and
is back in, I
personality
think, 8th grade or
stuff.
something, 9th grade that she quit. And then I started talking to Kenzie about it, and Kenzie was telling me that the pills, you know, made her feel worse. I started talking to her mom about that, and her mom just kind of had this attitude like, "Don't tell me how to raise my daughter." And I'm like, "Well, I'm actually like, not to say too much, but I'm a psychology minor, so it's like I know a little bit about this stuff." And she doesn't have any, you know what I mean? She doesn't seem like she had any issues. You know what I mean?
So,
I don't know. I feel like maybe, you know, obviously being exposed to antidepressants, but you don't really need them, might have
Because before you're 18, your parents are
you know
involved,
from
messed
right?
up in some way. I don't know.
do you know from what was your relationship
This
like
is
with Dominic? Were you guys close?
interesting.
Did he
Yes.
confide in you? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
So
to do a
would you
little
say
more
it's fair
research.
that Dominic perhaps shared some, I would say, secrets, some brotherly information with you about her? Like, hey man, you know, like geez, can't put up with this, or I'm worried about my safety. She's a crazy driver. I don't want to get in the car with her. Anything of that sort?
There was multiple times, even in the month of July, that he was trying to break up with her.
Really?
Yeah, like literally just even last month,
That would be July.
2 months ago, well, the month
Yeah.
before he died.
He was trying to break up with her. We know that. We know that.
We got you.
Can you tell me more about that? Whatever you know.
There was I know that you've probably already spoken about this, but there was an instance literally a week or a couple days before the crash that she was hitting him on the highway while driving on the highway, and he had to pull his car over on the side of the highway, not in a very safe parking spot either, and have somebody else come pick them up and drive the car home because he was scared that she was going to make him crash. And that was just prior to the day before the actual crash where she was driving.
Mhm.
That's
So
different
That's
than
different
my
than the
highway
one.
on the
Okay.
highway.
So that's a different highway one where
Because
Where
under
Dominic
that one, she
was-
was driving, right?
Right.
And
So
she-
under this one, he was driving.
Yes, the highway thing before the crash, he was driving, she was hitting him.
Okay.
He's driving, she's hitting him. He has to pull over on the side of the highway to avoid
Okay.
any possible.
and how do you know about
whatever.
this?
So there was actual violence in the car while they were driving before. This was not new.
What's your
Oh,
source of information?
I was actually
I didn't watch
vacation,
just
right?
before, so I'm horrified. I am
I was out of
horrified.
town, or else he probably would have just called me.
Okay.
But I was in Florida, so he called up. A
Don't
family
come for
friend,
me. Let me go get my Stanley.
And his name's Chris. And
Frenchman?
Yeah.
They already know. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my text is to her.
well, I'm
I
not
go,
gonna sit here and call him Hench. you
Well,
know?
they already
Yeah,
know he's
we
calling
Yeah,
know.
her.
well, it's in the text.
Yeah.
They refer to
Okay,
it.
well then
Yeah.
he called Hench and said, "Hey, can you come pick me up?" And Hench came and picked him up. And then I heard about it. I don't know if he even really.
And-
I was still in Florida when he passed.
Okay. And so
he
these
didn't
are
really-
two
he didn't really
different
talk to me
incidents,
about it,
right?
But I talked to Hench about it. I talked to her about it, and that's one thing I didn't hear from him. But I wasn't in town.
Okay.
You know?
But you heard it from Hench that
And
you know,
he's alive and it gets personal knowledge of
Okay.
that. So he's picked him up twice. I didn't know about that one when we interviewed.
Right. We just knew about. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So all right.
yeah, probably
And
not
and
talk to
Hench picked him up from both of
And
those.
yes.
Wait,
Yeah,
Hench
we
picked
gotta-
him up twice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because remember the time that when I was gonna it was that Sunday when it was raining, you were in town. I was in the garage, had that testing the next day, and she was threatening to crash the car and kill them on the highway, and I had to have Hench go get them then in the pouring down rain in my car.
Is it the same situation? Am I just like mixing it up?
No, because she was driving, and this time Dom was driving.
Yeah. One time she was behind the wheel, and then the other time Dom was behind the wheel. We knew a lot about the one when she was behind the wheel. I don't think there's a whole lot that I've found yet in
Yeah, I'm
her
pretty sure.
phone that
Well,
talks
listen,
about that one.
I heard it from someone else, so it has me questioning if I have my story mixed up. But no, I'm pretty sure I was told that he was driving.
Okay.
And he was.
That's okay. We'll clear it up with
Yeah,
Hench.
we can
Yeah.
double check
Okay.
with Hench, see hey,
He'll
I don't
talk
want
to
to.
us.
I don't want to give
Yeah,
misinformation.
no,
you know?
that's fine. That's not a problem. So let's go back to the whole breakup scenario. So we've established that Dominic, and from your firsthand knowledge, Mackenzie would threaten to hurt herself and Dominic should he broken up with her.
Yes.
And now we know, Dominic mentioned it to you that he plans on breaking up with her. Did he tell you?
I might even be able to look at some text right now about it. I don't really know if he told me if it was on a phone call.
But it's firsthand.
he
What I'm
expressed it to
trying
me
to
multiple times.
understand. It's he told you directly, like, Angelo, can't do this shit.
Honestly,
anymore.
like it's heartbreaking to me because like the day before I went to Florida, which is the last time I seen him face to face, he was really just talking to me about about like how he can't keep letting Kenzie like run his life, but not even an aspect like that. Like he said, like all right, for example, how I was saying how he can't go to he can't go out with even me occasionally because she's upset about it and this and that. He said that she holds him back. And we were just talking about, like traveling. Like I was saying, like, hey, let's go on some vacations together, this and that. He was talking to me, like, just me and him, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Let's go and let's go see some stuff and go, like, live it up. And, I don't know. He was just telling me about how he wants to travel the world, too, which has always been one of my dreams, to travel, like, the world, And, like, I think he was really, honestly, finally getting to the point to where, like, even if she was, like, saying, oh, I'm going to hurt you, he would have like maybe even taken that chance because it's been going on for like 2 years. It was really going on for like 2 years. Like they'd be good for like a month or two.
Are we good?
Sometimes they'd have 2-3 fights in a week.
Have you ever seen them going at it, fighting?
Yes.
Maybe in the house.
Oh,
Can you
yeah.
describe what was it like?
She honestly, like, he'll be like, dude, he would be so nice and as accommodating as possible to stop the fight. And she'd be one of those people that is just petty. You know what I mean? Just to the fullest extent. He'd be like, "What's upsetting you? I'll fix it." And then she would just have some like snob comment. I can't even quote her word for word, but he's just like, I remember times him like expressing to me how frustrated that he was, saying, I do every single thing I can for this girl. I ask her, what's upsetting you? I'll make it better, this and that, blah, blah, blah. And she finds like any single thing just be mad at me about. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, it's like I witnessed it a lot too. Like, I don't know.
Did
even
you ever
just stuff with
We're gonna boycott StreamYard starting tonight. I'm gonna have to email all my creator friends. We're gonna get all of our money back. We're gonna do it. Yeah, we are. You see me, you hear me? Oh no, okay. Okay. Where did we leave off with that interview? Don't come for me. Yay! I'm back. Can we talk? Why am I paying for a streaming service that does that kind of shit? Anyways. Okay. Sorry for that. I'm gonna have to clip that later. Anyways, let me pull up. What's funny is like I couldn't see you guys either, but now it's all back to my screen. It's like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. Like nothing happened. All right, here we go. I'm gonna have to clip all of that. Us having an issue. Nope, I'm leaving. Kill a swag. None of you left. All right, I see you guys. I like it. I like it. I feel like you guys like that naughty stuff. Yeah? Am I glitching? Am I still here? Am I still me? Am I an alien? What am I? Okay. Can we continue? Who are you and what have you done with 𝗟𝗏𝗲? Yeah. Are you okay? Okay, can we continue with the interview? I'm sorry. No, we're angels. Back to regular programming. Whoa. Shout out YouTube Streets. YouTube Streets is like, can you get your shit together, Melly? Like, I'm here to watch the content and you're glitching. Who are you on the screen? Thought a drone got you. I guess I'm in detention. Anyways, let me know. We should boycott StreamYard. I'm actually going to really look into that because I'm really not happy about it. I'm like, this is like our personal time. This is like our one-on-one time. I don't appreciate it, StreamYard. YouTube, get your shit together. Anyways, YouTube Street says your hair. What's wrong with it? Okay, let's get back to the interview. I'm sorry. My apologies. Do you forgive me? Are we good?
Before all this, that
I don't want you guys to have like, resentment feelings. I want this relationship to be a good relationship, a stable relationship. I want to be able to like go through these things and we can work it out. Like, are we on the same page? Yeah or no? Let me know if the interview left off on the right place because we don't know what happened before the world changed just a few seconds ago.
her hit him.
Like, just go.
StreamYard isn't cheap service and I'm sketchy. I'm on board. Okay. Prevention officers like, we're ready. We're going to boycott.
I remember several times.
I want all my money back for the year. All of 2024 is StreamYard.
Mom, can you get Kenzie out of here? She's
Refusing to leave and stuff.
refusing to leave. She's out of control.
I'm
She's
horrified.
hit me. I do remember that. And
I never
and then
witnessed
I would
it.
get on the phone and say, just leave and go home.
There's
you know.
there's multiple times, even pretty like recently before all this, that Don would have to call Kenzie's parents, call her mom and stuff, and say, hey, you need to come get Kenzie out of here. Like, she's refusing to leave my house. She's being crazy. And it'd be a situation where they'd be in a fight. Like, keep in mind something stupid that she started.
I'm
And he's
messing
like,
with your
"Listen, so just
feelings.
go home." He's like, well,
Just kidding.
we'll hang out tomorrow. It'll be like a whole like new thing. He'd finally like get her out. She'd be the type to show back up at his house, pound that.
Is this the right place we were on the interview? Let me know.
We're talking this shit out right now. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, there's times where that happened and we were in the house hanging out with him. He's like, okay, you guys just gotta go home. You know what I mean? I gotta talk to her. And it's like, I don't know, just really everything behind it. The number one word for it is like selfish and self-centered. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't really know how to like go through arguments properly. Doesn't know how to do stuff like healthily. Wants to.
Would you attribute any of that to her age? What was there, 2 years between her and Dom?
Yeah.
About 2 years.
But
Thank you. I
Early
appreciate you
on,
guys and I
knew
love
her
you
when she
guys.
was
Do you want me to
maybe
kiss you?
about 9th,
Do you want to
10th
kiss?
grade-ish.
I'm
But let's
down.
talk about maybe the last year. Was it
Did her
like
personality get worse, or has it always
was
been
an
steady?
immaturity thing?
so
Or
earlier
was it
years,
more of just an unstable thing?
earlier years, I just had more of a relationship with her as her big brother, so I just
Okay.
knew more of what was going on with her, like directly from her.
Yeah.
Okay. But her behavior never really
Mwah,
got better.
Yes.
To me, it almost just got more drastic.
Okay.
Like before, when she was younger, 9th, 10th grade, she would go home when they were fighting, whatever, and then be texting him saying, "Oh, I'll hurt myself, blah 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 blah," and then he's like, "Okay, please don't. We can work this out, whatever, you know." But then it came to the point where she's 16 now, she's driving, she's 17, she's even older, you know. She's driving back over, she's banging on windows. Like, her behavior became more
Whoa.
erratic. Maybe also because she had more ways to let it out and to show
Right.
that, you know what I mean, and to come over or whatever. But no, at first there'd be like when it
She
first
lives
started.
close to you guys too. She's just on the street there.
Yeah.
So,
So, Angelo, have you ever been a passenger while she was driving?
Oh my gosh, I can
Let's see if I can turn on.
never once.
Okay. Do you know anything?
I can't
about
do
her
closed
driving?
caption. Sorry, my
Anybody ever
oops.
describe her driving to you?
I mean, she's told me, I've heard her say that she thinks she's a great driver. I forget who told me. I don't think it was Don. It might have been his buddy Blair told me that she's a terrible driver. No, never really like. I'd have to bring it up. I didn't really internalize it if I did have a convo about her driving. All I know is I never really wanted to get in the car with her, just because like not like saying like, oh, she's crazy and she'll crash the car on purpose or something. Like obviously I wasn't thinking that at the time, but just her high strung anxiety, like she's just like a really high strung person. I don't know if that's the kind of person I want to be in the car with. You know what I mean? She kind of like has moments where she like obviously like loses her composure.
Have you-
Blair said, and I just have to repeat what he says, is that bitch drives crazy. She
This
was
is the mom.
speeding. And
Oh,
him and-
yeah.
Yeah, and he
I
said that
I
him
would
and
hear about her
Dom-
speeding and driving crazy too. Actually,
Him
from
and
Blair.
Dom would bitch at her about the speeding.
Who did you say went to West Virginia with them?
Oh, it was Florida, the mother.
Oh, Florida. That was her mom, but didn't your ex and somebody go down and meet them down?
Me.
You met them down. Did she fly to Florida? Her and Dom fly to Florida? They
YouTube
drove?
Streets was late tonight. You're in
They
detention.
drove
You
tandem
guys
with-
spanking.
So it's her and Dom and then
The mom.
My
her mom
favorite
and- okay.
YouTube
But you
Streets.
guys flew down and met them down there.
No, we also drove.
Oh, you did drive.
Yeah,
Okay.
me and my dad, we already had I guess they already had some trip planned. They were going to Orlando, and my dad wanted to. We never took like vacations, me and him. So he's like, "Hey, let's get in my car. We'll go hit Destin, go see your Aunt Sherry, and then Clearwater was right in the, like in between,
Yep.
like Fort Myers and Orlando. So then we met in Clearwater. I don't know for a day, you know, like me and my dad, Dom, Kenzie's mom, her
Okay.
mom, and her sister.
Okay.
What was she like down there?
The
If you
reason.
remember.
Oh, go ahead.
This is Dominic's
Yeah,
brother, by the way, the guy who died in the car accident.
I remember it was.
I'm in
like,
detention. Okay.
a huge project. We barely even got to hang out because we got down there.
Okay. Okay. I'll take it.
Clearwater, it's busy, right?
Uh-huh.
So Kenzie's driving, right? Kenzie refused to let Dom drive, and so she's driving the car, and so we're going this way. There's a big like roundabout on the main road of Clearwater. It goes in both directions, and most of the shops are all like this way.
Mhm.
So going down the roundabout, we kept saying turn right, right? She went around the roundabout twice, like, and ended up going like had to turn back around, come back and missed it again. And before she finally went the right way, we're turning around, saying just stay where you're at. We'll just like come to you. We're driving back. They don't listen. Keep driving this way now. They're over here now. We got to come back. It took us 45 minutes just to even figure out where they were going. Then we didn't even get parked together, okay? Because then after all this driving around and all this trying to figure out like how to pull up next to each other, finally Kenzie just decides that she's starving and needs something to eat. And Dom says, okay, now I'll have to take Kenzie to get some food. And hold on.
So when you and your dad drove down, you did not caravan with them. You
No.
were on your own timeline, essentially.
Yeah, we were
Okay.
just meeting at the
Alright.
beach, you know.
Okay.
And we all met up in one spot before going to the beach, and we just decided they decided more like it'd be easier to just drive separate.
Super toxic.
Did Dom tell
And
you
it's just-
anything about her driving down there? We heard an incident that happened on the way.
Is she
Florida.
toxic by
Did
nature,
you
or
talk
did
about
she
that?
hear her
Oh,
parents
so-
driving?
or is familiar with this
Instead of the way
behavior?
to Florida.
Mhm. Something about her driving.
Say something about it.
You guys can hear
Jog
the
my
interview, right?
memory, I'm not really sure.
Just, the unsafe driving to where,
Speeds.
speeds and, kind of closing up on people to where he might have not felt safe to actually come back.
I
Anything
remember-
about that?
I think I remember him saying something to me about how he drove mostly,
Okay.
and because it was more comfortable. But I don't think he went into
Mm-hmm.
detail about it. About did something to you about it or something?
Mm-mm.
No. Has anybody, or is that just like? you're
No,
just asking?
again, one of the things is
I
we got a
think-
lot of the kids
I think
telling
he
us
told
things,
me.
and we are just trying to sort what.
I think he told me he drove mostly
drove
the whole.
mostly.
I
way.
agree, Dee.
So,
That's
like,
why I said,
obviously
where
you
does
don't
she
have to-
learn this
obviously you
behavior
don't split up
from?
Driving,
Mhm.
unless you just feel more comfortable driving. So that kind of already let me know. I mean, I don't know. I was nervous to begin with. So was my
Nature.
dad, even before,
It's
like,
the
we
environment
drove
around you
Dom and Kenzie driving just then,
that affects your
because
psyche and your
like,
behaviors.
Kenzie's, we've already said enough about like her driving, and then Dom. It's not like he's the greatest driver either. Like he's a decent driver, but he's got all this hair in
I
his
actually
face and
suck
stuff.
at driving.
Brushing his hair, like trying to see and shit. It's like
Yeah.
I was nervous about either of them driving all that distance, to be honest. But not like in terms of Dom being crazy or anything. Just
Right.
like,
Yeah. So
being lackadaisical.
I got
How
you.
he is sometimes.
So just to be kind of very clear cut with this, recently, I'd say maybe 2022, did Dom say anything to you about being concerned for his safety? Not maybe something malicious, but something like, hey, you know what, this girl's gonna get herself killed or get somebody killed or get some innocent driver or pedestrian, somebody killed because of her driving. Anything that maybe, any conversations like that between just, two brothers, chopping it up.
She'd make threats. He'd definitely say that she's the kind of person to follow through with those threats.
He believed she would follow through.
Wow.
Yeah, not like.
This is his brother.
I mean, obviously everybody makes false threats and empty threats and stuff like that. But some of the stuff he would or she would say.
Wait, well, what kind of threats, homie? Wait, what?
Yeah, Kenzie's crazy. She would actually probably do that shit.
So since the
Wow.
crash and the passing of Dominic, has she been in contact with you? Has she reached out to you?
She texted me multiple times. I could read you the text word for word. She never once said, "I'm sorry for your loss." She never once said, "I'm so sorry for what happened." She never once took any responsibility, not even having to take any responsibility, just saying, "I'm sorry, Dom's gone," like anything. But she asked me for forgiveness about 10 times, saying, "I hope that you forgive me. I still want to be a part of your family." Listen, I'll just show you the text to make it easy. I would rather you see the text because he's disgusting.
Well, he's looking for that, so I don't forget. I don't even know if this is even relevant.
I didn't even open the last ones. I'm opening them now though for you guys. But these literally disgusted me.
We went canoeing last year. I took off.
This is a mom.
To court, and we were all four. Me and Dom and Kenzie were going to go canoeing. So I packed snacks for the canoe and cooler.
Yay! Happy birthday, Mary.
So we had a bag that had like chips and that sort of thing that was supper. You didn't put in the bags so they crushed. Well, we forgot.
Happy birthday, my
She
love.
wrote an entire canoe trip.
I hope you have a
She
good
said
day.
through a fit that we had forgotten those chips, that she had nothing to eat.
Tantrums.
And I kept saying, "We're enjoying our day. There's no fighting. We will find something for you to eat." We even stopped at the one bar. Remember that?
No fighting.
No, nothing. It didn't matter what I had. It was not. She did not have those chips. Okay. So we ended up stopping at one of the places that was like a bar, restaurant, or whatever, and finally fed her.
It's a very toxic relationship if your boyfriend's parents know how they have to behave around you. Like, that's very.
About those chips, and the thing, she was very crafty on how she would do stuff, because she would stick her dig. Me and Andrew in a canoe, they're there. She would stick her digs and her comments so that we couldn't hear. And all as I would ever say, I always try to be neutral, because I'm always thinking, well, these kids are going to break up, but they're going to get back together, and I'm going to say something that's going to damage the whole thing. And I would just say, "There's no fighting. We're having a great day. We're canoeing. We'll get through it. We'll find you something to eat. Don't worry." You know what I mean? Yeah. And it was just a big tantrum. I mean, everything was you forgot chips. Okay, I get it. Do you know what I mean? But
wait, she would freak out about chips?
A tantrum to ruin the day.
Okay. So Dom was 20, right? He couldn't even come next door to eat his mom's dinner half the time.
This is not good.
Kenzie
Not
would
good.
cry about how her food would have to be like gluten-free, everything, like all that, And as a 20-year-old kid, and he's like the man, he's cooking for her every single night. And then also, like, even just in terms of like relationship, not even like anything to do with anything else, I witnessed so many times him saying to her, like,
"If you want to be my boyfriend and cook for me every night, please fill out an application."
And then she'd be like, make it like a thing. Like, this is like one of the things where I'm saying that she's petty. But she'd be like, "Oh, I'll do the dishes after you start being nice to me again." And he's like, "How am I being or something?" It'd be like, it wouldn't even make any sense. It'd just be like, "Okay, like, I'm going home." Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of these days. I'm just going home,
I feel like my opinion about her is changing very much so after this interview.
Remorse or apology or anything.
First,
Dude drops like, here we go.
How long it was since we talked before this. She texted me on August 6th, okay? Before that, the last time she texted me was May 7th.
Okay, let me write this down. So May 7th
was the last time she texted me, and it was just to say Dom's phone died. The last time she texted me before that was she was asking me if I could do homework for her because she was too lazy to do her math work.
Wow.
And so, I mean, honestly, like,
May 7th, and then when was the next time after May 7th? What was the date?
August 6th, after the crash.
I think that was the day she got her phone back.
And you could read it. This is what she said word for word.
August.
It's a text message.
No,
hey, you go, listen.
I'll read it for here. It says, "Hey, Angelo, that's August 6th, 4:14 p.m. Hey, Angelo, I don't know if you hate me, but tomorrow for the funeral, would you be able to go in Dom's room and grab some photos from his desk for me and him so I could put them into the casket so he can be with me forever?
Doesn't say sorry, doesn't say nothing, doesn't say anything. It says, hey, Angelo, I don't know if you hate me, but can you go grab pictures of us and put them in his casket so I can be with him forever? How, like, honestly, how psychotic does that sound? That sounds
Wow.
fucking twisted. She texted me again after that, and all just to say, please let me know. Then she texted me again, August 23rd. Actually, she did say sorry one time. First time that she ever said this. She said, here, you can read it if you want.
It says, hi, Angelo. I just wanted to say I'm so sorry. I know you probably think this is all my fault, and I'm not asking you to feel bad for me, but I just wanted to say I'm so sorry, and I know you miss him so much. I wish he was here too. This should have never happened. He loves you so much, and you, I know.
Yeah, I know.
You know that. I don't even know what to say to you or just feel so bad. I hope you guys can forgive me because I'll always look at you guys as family. You don't even need to respond to me. Just wanted you to know I'm so sorry. Okay.
But see, even these texts that she sent me, even in this one, okay, it maybe would have
I feel like she had a very unstable home life.
Just I'm so sorry, you know. But then
You know what I mean?
Just one line. It's
She
one
moved in
sentence
with
of, I'm
them.
so sorry, and then it goes, I know you probably think this is all
I agree,
my fault,
Augie.
and I'm
Past
asking you to
behavior
feel bad
predicts
for me.
future
Why would I
behavior.
feel bad for you in this situation? How to take you one sentence of saying sorry and then
Absolutely.
just to go to that, and then you're gonna say,
I know that since we gave her
it's
phone
like, and
back
then she
to
says,
her,
I hope you guys can forgive me. In the first text where you finally apologize, right? So I'm finally saying, I'm sorry I killed your brother. I hope that you forgive me. How's forgiveness and me feeling bad for you even on your mindset? Like, how is it even on? Like, how is it even on there? It should literally be like, I'm so sorry. Like, I bought the pain. Like, it should all be
Well, it
about
shows that
who you're texting.
She's worried about what you think of her, so she's using the I'm
It's
sorry as a
everything.
buffer.
Like the whole entire consistency of her is just she's just self-absorbed and self-centered. Everything that she texts me, even if she's finally saying I'm sorry, it's about her. It's not
Texting an apology
So,
when you lived with them
I know since we gave her the phone, she's been
and you were acting crazy in their
back
household.
active on social media and all
Absolutely
that.
not.
Any of
I
your
would not
friends
be allowed
screenshot you
on my
anything?
family,
Have you?
especially not my dad.
You know, we've received some photos
Oh,
of her in
no.
a wheelchair out and about.
I could definitely get some screenshots. I'm not on social media much at all.
Okay.
But the first thing I did hear of, and at the time, we didn't even know if this was her mom or her or what, because we didn't even know if she was even awake to use a phone. We didn't know what her injury was or anything, you know?
You also didn't live with your
And,
boyfriend's family and
first thing I seen
abuse
from
him.
her, she didn't text my mom. She didn't text me. She didn't text my dad. She didn't text anybody in my family.
I get like
First
Amber Heard
thing I
vibes.
seen from her contacting anybody was she texted a modeling agency that reached out to her and said something. And she went on Instagram.
Flanagans.
But that was before even like you're gonna go and reach out to a modeling agency on Instagram, let them want to use your picture before texting
Several people and they're aware of that.
many people in between that should have gotten that text beforehand. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then like her mom, her dad, has still never even texted me once. I already previous to this had somewhat of a relationship with her mom, talking about her daughter's issues or whatever and what I think or whatever, and you know, and it wasn't like we never talked before. You know what I mean? I'd come say hi to her in the driveway, you know what I mean? When she was dropping her off. And
Jamie Komarowski vibes. What about Ashley Benefield? What do you believe about that case?
She's never said not even a word, not a peep.
I feel like we can go down a list here. BB and I.
I was just gonna say that, just a thought that she always is concerned about who hates her.
BB and I have been through many cases
Again,
together.
I have to see her at the cemetery all the time. Now she's been sort of telling me when she's going, so I've been able to kind of avoid it. But I'm still talking to her, which I would.
Right.
Well, plus she dangles all the pictures of Dom and videos and claims she just found this. Let me send this to you. And I know, just, come on.
Watch part
That's her
one.
way of just
You can watch all the
But
TikToks.
the one kid came over and introduced himself, said he never knew Dom, but he was good friends with Davion. They had met at Grace Church and blah, blah, started talking. And so I sat Dom's mom and Kenzie was there, and there was another lady there with her daughter, and I think the dad was there again, and she said, well, just thank you so much for not hating me. And then every time, I'm just so scared to be here. Everybody in Strongsville hates me. I don't know what to do. And I said, I'm sure that people don't hate you. You know what I mean? But she went to
Wow.
that concert in the wheelchair that 𝗵𝗃𝗲 or whatever his
I
name
agree,
is.
Augie.
And she was there with her girlfriends, and the one girlfriend.
If someone threatened to key my car, my parents would absolutely not be okay with that.
She was getting piled on, I guess, because they get all, and I'm hearing this all from her, okay? that
You should
they
not
were-
be in a wheelchair and be at a concert.
They were all piling.
If I was
in,
still
guess
living
they do
there
this
at 17.
dancing And they squish up and everything. So, the monitors had to move her to the wheelchair to a different section and all of that. But, yeah. So, and I forget the
So
girl's name.
which
Lily-
concert was that? Because there's
Kid Cudi.
there's two that she's been to.
Listen,
No, there's
listen,
two. I
just
only
for
This
the
is
record.
𝗏𝗏𝗃.
This is the one at the Nautica Pavilion.
Listen, here's the thing too.
We got
is,
pictures
like
from
Kid Cudi.
somebody from Strongsville who was there. Texted us.
And here's the thing though too is like Kid Cudi. Like I love Kid Cudi. Like when I was like younger, and he's like all talking about Cleveland. Like Cleveland is the reason, all this stuff, blah blah blah. And
I agree, DD. My
really,
dad very much.
kind of took like a different edge to like he was like a rapper, but it wasn't rap. He wouldn't be talking about violence or anything like that. He'd be talking about like, like communities and like himself and like stuff like that, and like a little bit about pot and stuff like that too. And I love Kid Cudi. I was so distraught. I heard about the concert in June, and I was so distraught. I completely forgot until the day of the concert. People are going to the Cudi concert, and I'm kind of thinking like, dang, I wish I would have like remembered about that. But then also it's like I don't even care. You know what I mean? So it's like, to me, it's even like you have that much in you to like remember all these plans and like go do all this stuff. It's like, dude, it wasn't like, it's not like it's like your mom's like birthday. Like, yeah, you're not gonna like forget that. But it's like you remember to go to a Kid Cudi concert and get a ride in your wheelchair down here and like go through all that work to go see a concert. But I get like 2 texts from you ever, and you don't even like say something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Just like
do me a favor.
Where her mind's at just does not seem right to me at all. To be honest,
I'm gonna leave my card with you, but if anybody does send you texts, we told people send them to us because I'm putting them in my report, showing them to Tim, just to kind of establish that pattern that since
So if you're dating someone toxic,
she doesn't seem to care enough.
Since this trip,
you want to talk about it.
going on living her
Just
life.
out and about.
Little
So,
family moment.
Just even if you're not into it, just maybe
I feel like I have
text it
so
to
much
mom,
to
have
say.
mom get them to
You don't
me,
judge me.
via email so I can
You judge
attach
me?
them.
We need to talk.
Yeah,
What she's
screenshots.
doing and everything.
Because I had those ones where she was
Yeah.
begging me to go in the house.
We might have to do like a members
That's
only
what I tell you guys
toxic
out there.
relationship.
She has not once said. She said,
What about toxic
do you think
YouTube
Angelo's gonna go in
relationship?
there and destroy my thing?
All right,
This is what
catch
she
me
said.
tonight.
She said,
Maybe tomorrow night.
No, Angelo's not
I'll
gonna
post it.
destroy anything. And I said, I can always get together what you have or something like that. She goes, but I want to go in there. And she goes, can't you just sneak me in and not tell me?
I'll say he's like, I'm ready for
The date
this.
is November 14th is our anniversary. And I'm just like,
Yeah, you better all show up
Makes you
too.
think, what's
I wanna
in
know
it
what you
that
have
she
to say.
wants?
so bad. Or why does she want? And how could you
Did
do
Dom
that?
keep cash in
Are we
there?
gonna share our
We-
secrets?
That's one thing. Maybe that.
Hmm.
Okay.
I know you were in
Tipsy.
Florida at the time of the tragedy here, but any idea why they were
Tipsy's like, do
going
it.
down
Do it,
Progress
girl.
to Alameda? Do you know in
All
the
right,
past
Tipsy.
if they've
I
used
listen
this
to you.
as a shortcut to get somewhere?
Well, yeah, it tells me that they were coming. I forget if it's south or north or whatever. Pearl. Obviously, they were coming towards 82
Mm-hmm.
down Pearl, and then that's just
Okay,
like
we're gonna do a members only this weekend.
They end up on Westwood.
Right, but I know. Do you know why they were thinking that? Is this like a normal?
It's a normal cut through. Yeah.
normal cut through
Just,
she's always taken.
I mean, the
I feel like I need to bring receipts too.
the reason that I use it is just because avoid all the Pearl lights, because you get Pearl and you go light. You turn.
I gotta get in
Progress,
on
you
that.
go right down Prospect, you have 2 lights, and then you're home. You know what I mean? So that's the reason why I take it.
Mhm.
I would assume it's the same reason.
Okay.
One thing I can tell you about that, or that I was curious about.
Hi, my
obviously
beautiful
just wrap up
Jules.
a
Good to
lot of
see you,
what I'm
love.
saying, you know what I mean? for one, like
Bring your
I heard
underwear.
Dom was riding in the back seat. That's not true. So he was in the front seat.
Okay, well, that was what we were told I told you that from the funeral director said that.
That's wrong. He was
We
front
saw
seat,
the
yes.
body cam footage. Dom was in the front seat. They both lost their life at the time of the accident or crash.
Okay.
She said that another thing I can fill you guys in, and she said she went to a psychic, 3 days ago. I have to look at my phone. And so I said, well, what did he say? Cause I'm trying to get everything in writing. She goes, oh, no, you have to call me. Well, she said basically nothing. But what she did go on to say was that, the psychic made it very clear to her that the accident was caused because she swerved left.
Wait, what? Psychics?
That's what I'm saying. So I'm just telling you, this is the latest story. Okay.
That's her
so,
story. Yeah.
Good.
yes.
And like the family's in on it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm questioning
Yeah,
many
so,
things right now.
That was the other thing. And you guys also need to be aware, which I don't.
Wait, but listen, here's
This
the
is
thing.
weird.
She said that the psychic told her to swerve left,
No, that she swerved left.
and that's why it happened.
When does that matter, sir, in an investigation?
Off the road.
I'm just telling you, I don't
And
know the
then-
details. I'm just repeating what I'm finding out.
Mhm.
And now you made me forget what else I wanted to say besides
Oh, I'm
that.
sorry.
It's okay about the psychic. Oh,
Yeah, please bring your underwear for the next slide. You're gonna need it.
so Dom's birthday was Saturday, and
Some of you are probably
he always
so
goes to the
confused.
This funds every year. That was a tradition. And there's times that there was family there, and sometimes it was just the friends. So I told my ex that you're welcome, but we're just gonna, guess what are we gonna do? And I said, we're gonna go to dinner with his friends, just like he would if you're welcome, but nobody else when I'm inviting. It's just what Dom would have done or whatever. So the dad got all pissed off. He threw a huge
Oh, my sweet cat TV.
party at his daughter's
Thank you.
house. Cake, the whole bit. Put
You're
up
so sweet.
boards, put up pictures.
I'm gonna star
and
that.
Invited the whole Shirilla family.
Thank you, my
was
girl.
there.
That was
Dom's dad.
Dad's dad did
You're
this.
right.
He's like, who's
I
honking?
told you I don't, and again, he's the one who thinks that he's been told from,
voodoo, whatever.
Yeah, he said that the pendulum told him to forgive Kenzie to the fullest and that it's not her fault or something. And that he said that day.
Timothy.
Like, I haven't even been talking to him.
It's the body cam footage.
To be like, in my eyes. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know what he could be thinking or whatever, but.
Gypsy's like, don't
even
honk at
recently,
me.
there
Why are you
was a
honking at me?
situation, Where my
Gypsy's like, you want beef?
Antonio, right?
You want beef?
24,
Want beef?
25 years old, I forget. This is when I'm like 16. He's on the front of a boat, sitting on front of a boat, and the driver hits a buoy.
Y'all are
in the
too fun.
water,
I can't
cuts his
handle it.
legs off, he bleeds out, he dies. The driver's found with MDMA in his blood, besides from alcohol and like all this other stuff, like you're thinking that he's gonna get some time, My dad nonstop.
I'm a vegan.
talked
No beef.
every day that this guy would come up about how much
But
of a
beef.
piece of shit
I
he
want
was
beef
and how
with
much
some of you.
They want to see him burned in jail and all this stuff. Well, the guy got put on.
You know who you are.
Like a
You know who
5-year
you are.
probation with like a 15-year.
Don't make me say your name up here.
And he ended up like beating up and robbing some old guy or something. And I don't even know how you like end up doing that, but did that and then goes back to court. And my Aunt Nicole, Antonio's mother, is this court dates or this court case is in Florida. This is where like this happened at. So she's in, up in Ohio, and she's on the video cam crying as a whole like written testimony saying about how she wants him to get the maximum time, all this stuff, right? I'm there. This court date finally just got wrapped up in the end of April. So just now in the end of April of this year, like however many like years later, because the case was so long, the guy got sentenced to like 10 years in prison, right? My dad's like, at least he got 10 years, by which he has his whole fucking life in there, blah, blah, blah. So that's somebody, pretty identical situation. Somebody who killed somebody's son and our family.
Yeah, no Diddy oil.
While they were
No.
driving.
None of that,
Doesn't matter
please.
if they're high, sober, whatever, but that's what happened.
Mackenzie was like always high.
Years later, and they want to see him burn in hell.
Hey, no judgment, but girl.
Kenzie does this. My dad talks to some freaking Ouija board.
Don't beat up your.
Forgives her.
Wait.
I think it's pretty freaking screwed up, to be honest with you.
The
And it's
Ouija
like,
board?
There's a lot of things, and it could be grief. It It could be maybe she's something to hold on to that was close. Who
But
knows?
he never even
See,
hung out with him.
Pause.
He
Yeah.
didn't.
No, it's not even that. He's
That's some
he's been
freaky
texting
shit.
me saying that I'm not gonna be happy until I let go of the hate in my heart.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling him it's not about having hate in your heart.
Mhm.
Somebody killed your son. Someone killed my brother. It doesn't even seem like it was an accident. It seems like she took it upon herself to ram that car into that wall against both of their wills. You know what I mean? I know Dom.
Let me ask you before you go any further off that point. Everything you know aside, everything you've heard.
The
from
brother of the
people,
guy who died.
Everything you've heard
Dominic.
here. You as a grown man, are you saying that's your gut feeling?
What do you think happened? Basically?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's my 100%. Since like, I mean,
Well, hold
listen,
on.
like, since
What do you think happened?
That
I
night.
think
Yeah.
that I mean, off of what I know and off my assumptions,
We
I
need to
think
have a
that
members only
they
about
were
this
in some kind of
topic
fight.
too.
Dom tried to break up with her multiple times, even in July. I kept not like working out, whatever. They kept making back up. The only thing I could really think of is they were obviously some kind of argument.
Mhm.
Kenzie's known to be the kind of person that she's let us know she will never let go of Dom. And if she has to let go of
Wait,
Dom, she
what?
will not go on living herself.
This
She's
is
pretty much let
creepy.
that be known. And the whole thing that I think of is you're going 94 miles an hour. You don't have a very fast car to begin with. You were stomping that gas pretty much that whole entire time. There's no brake marks on the street at all. Even before the hit, you would think that some type of instinct would kick in and you'd slam on the brakes. But to my knowledge, she went straight into it. To me, it seems like they might have been in a fight, maybe not even arguing. I think if it was like vicious arguing while, I think if it was vicious arguing while she was driving, he would have tried harder to spin the wheel. So I could think of it maybe they were lightly arguing, and she starts racing. He's trying
No,
to talk her down.
it was
saying, like,
turned
relax, relax.
142-degree
She might-
angle, I
she had
believe.
in her
I'm
head,
right.
okay, I know that we're breaking up, blah blah blah, this and that. I don't know what she could have possibly been thinking,
I
but
think it was intentional.
I can't go into details, obviously, because I have
Yeah.
no idea. Obviously.
My opinion only.
Whole idea, like main points. I think that they were in a fight. I think that she took it upon herself to purposely crash into that wall. I think that he
I
must.
think
have
I
tried to talk
agree
her
with
down the whole
Angelo.
time. They swerved off to the right at the end. I think he might have grabbed the wheel towards the end of it, maybe trying to spin him or something. Who knows? She could have been bear hugging it. I don't know. They're hitting bumps too. They're going 90. He could have not like. I don't know what's going through his head, you know. But I do know that Dom never once in his life ever expressed to me any form of I want to kill myself, I want to die, ever. He wanted to do so much stuff. He wanted to start up his own like shampoo lines, his own conditioner lines. He wanted to start up clothing lines. He wanted to get big in the music industry. He loved real estate. Like he was trying to get into buying houses. Like he had too many plans and too many goals for his life to plan anything like that. She's the only person who I've ever seen around him say, "I will kill you and I will kill myself if this and this happens."
Okay.
Like when she's not with him, like I mean, there's been situations even like the week before.
If I can't have you, baby, no one
Situation
can
where
have
He had
you.
to get picked up on the highway because they.
That's
couldn't
what
drive
Mackenzie
there.
was
You know
thinking.
what I mean?
What type of we don't care about pot, but what kind of drugs do you know about?
How many
her
of you are
using?
familiar with that? Curious.
I pretty much,
I'm curious
honestly,
with that type of
just,
behavior.
to my knowledge,
I can
just
guarantee
pot,
so many of you
occasional
are.
alcohol. But I think even like recently, she's not been a big smoker at all because like I'd be over at the house and like even Dom was even barely smoking. In the month
It's
of July and
okay.
stuff, he just was getting over it. Kind
It's
of like
definitely
he didn't
okay.
have as bad problems with his ankle anymore.
I
You know,
know
his
you
other
can't have
his
me,
problems.
no
It
one
wasn't
can.
like muscle or bone problems. It was like bad nerve.
Me?
problems.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that
Really
can have
bad,
you.
yeah,
Great.
really bad with, like nerve issues and
I don't
stuff.
like to share.
And so he was like pretty much like, getting over that, and I pretty much barely seen him smoking at all. And then Kenzie, I think like she was getting sick off it or something. Like some people have I forget what it's called, but you like smoke weed and you throw up, or you want to throw up at least, makes you sick or whatever.
Wait,
So to my knowledge,
wait,
like,
what?
she was pretty much not smoking.
So any talk about
And she
acid
wasn't
or
really a
shrooms,
Smoke weed and you want to
anything like
throw
that?
up?
I heard rumors after the crash about
Never heard that in my
there being
life.
acid involved and mushrooms and like all this shit.
Never heard that in my life.
I don't
You've never seen it though.
believe that's the case.
What about medical? Did you ever see her pass out? Did Dom ever mention?
You better love me now. You
Sitting
never
there and all of a
get to
sudden she
love
just
me.
Passed out.
Okay, Pantera.
Anything of that sort? Did you ever witness anything? How about you, Ms. Russo?
No, not at all.
No,
Was she
I've
drunk?
Never
like,
heard,
No.
never
see or
seen
nothing
any
like that.
type of medical issue. Okay.
No.
The only thing.
But she does remind us of our girl Jamie, right? Little,
Sort of described the same thing I knew last was
A little psychopathy
issue
there.
with some condition with the marijuana. But I
So
thought
she
that
wasn't
was,
really,
but
like,
I
yeah.
thought that was a while ago. I thought she was over that.
Pause. I
mean,
used to
it's
smoke. I
gluten-free.
never wanted to kill my boyfriend. I never wanted to do any of the above. Absolutely not. It's not the marijuana. Maybe
She
if you
tried
have
telling me the other day that
severe
she
mental health
had,
issues, maybe.
some other medical conditions, and I think that was just fluffing to try to. Why wouldn't it have ever been mentioned to me before?
Gotcha.
Now he's dead, and you're going to mention this at the cemetery. Do you know
Daddy-o.
what I'm saying?
Yeah, Daddy-o. We got Daddy-o coming up.
Some other things, but
Be ready, man, because
I don't know. Their
those
parents
calls are
went and bought her
wild.
that car. They bought her that car before she had her license. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a
My
kid
dad
that
did that.
you're
He bought me a
worried
car
about some
before I
sort
had
of,
my license.
Condition of driving.
Oh,
It's
no.
just like with
Don't
Christopher.
come
I'm
for
sure
me.
Christopher liked to drive, but I used to be
Are you coming
nervous
for me?
because of his mental health. So I've just never allowed him to get a driver's license.
Yeah.
Come
Right?
for me.
So it's as
Makes
simple as
sense.
that, you know?
If she had those conditions, those parents were, she is their golden child. They treat the other sister like a piece of crap. She's the pretty one. She's the smart one. She's the other one's
What?
got problems. Like they
What?
just everything. It doesn't matter how outrageous. The only reason that they ended up going to Florida because her mom wasn't going to go, and I even said, "Well, I didn't know the whole thing." I remember I was in and out of the hospital. So
Mackenzie was a golden child.
Was they didn't think that they could check
I'm
in? because they
sorry.
went to Florida.
Absolutely not.
So then the mother decided, well, I'll just go
Absolutely
with
not.
you then before. Originally, she was just going to drive down there to check them in and leave.
Yeah.
This is the
I
stuff
heard that, and I was
they
like,
do.
what?
They are
She was
out of
smoking
control
blunts.
Oh, listen
with
up.
her
And she was a juvenile at that point.
I didn't.
Not
get to
judging.
finish
Smoke
what I
all
was
the
saying
blunts
about
you
her
want.
smoking and drinking. Her drinking though, like the only times I've ever seen
This is a
her
different
drink,
situation,
she's
right?
drinking liquor,
She's pretty.
anything like that,
Against all
she's
logic
gotta
is like,
drink,
please.
like a Smirnoff Ice, like one of those like sugary malt beverages. You know what I mean? Drink like 2 of them. It'd be fine.
No, I saw footage
So,
of
like,
her
I'd be
drinking
fine,
on
maybe, like,
family
buzzed or whatever,
vacations,
like, but like she wasn't really like.
which is fine. My
Getting
parents used to
slammed.
allow me to
Yeah,
drink
yeah,
too. I
like
can't come
drinking
up
or
here
not really a
and
smoker either,
talk shit
honestly.
without.
Is there anyone
Admitting.
else you think we need to talk to besides Pinch? Anybody you think would be, and again, like.
No, but if I was
Dom,
being
we're
this
Just-
toxic,
not
my
talking
parents
to
would
us, but
A
lock
lot
me
of
up.
other people I could
They'd
think
be
of, there
like,
wouldn't be anybody that
"Bye."
could like have new information for you that
Gotcha.
would say like, oh, this and this happened or whatever.
Recognizing,
But
right?
I know a lot of people that, I mean, obviously like my buddies would all probably, I mean, I'd have to, I've talked to a couple of them about it and they all think like my one buddy thinks that she did it on purpose too and thinks that this and that.
We're trying to avoid a lot of like second, third, fourth hand
Mhm.
knowledge. We're looking more for somebody who was close with Dom, who would have some kind of first hand.
Yeah,
So
no,
Angela's
this-
perfect.
my
This
buddy's
interview
close with
has
Dom. They talk
showed
often,
us so
you know what I
much.
mean? But
Listen, you got my card. Take a picture of it. Send it to some of your buddies. Encourage them to come talk to us. We can't compel anyone to talk. The few people who we think we need to talk to who are not going to talk to us are going to get subpoenaed to the grand jury.
like,
The
Can I ask you-
prosecutor is going to make them come talk,
right,
but
right.
not to the police. They're going to talk directly to the prosecutor. But some of their friends
Oh,
are
okay.
refusing to.
Some of Mackenzie's
Mackenzie's
friends.
friends, yes, are refusing to be forthcoming.
Right.
And I did tell you about her hitting him in the car when he hit the mailbox and stuff like that. right?
Yes,
Yes.
Okay.
yes.
What was the other thing I was just thinking of? I said that. Oh, I did bring up the girl that she supposedly pushed down the steps, right?
Whoa.
Yes.
This is Dom's mom.
We have.
Wait, she pushed someone down the steps?
There's a Snapchat about
So I
that
keep you
that
on
she
your toes, you
recorded.
Yeah.
So
You know I'm
I
gonna
remember hearing about the situation.
deep dive
obviously.
this
I will.
tonight.
When did the story turn into
I will
that?
find that
So
clip.
the big story was this girl fell down the steps, blah, blah, blah. And so how did she fall and blah, blah. She had no alcohol in her system.
With guardrail and everything. you know?
Yeah, and
Handrail.
there's a handrail. And then as time went on, Kenzie was the one that told me personally, she said that these girls were really out to get her because they are accusing her of pushing this gal down the steps. I said, well, why in the world would you ever push that girl? I wouldn't push that girl down the steps. Just didn't think of nothing at the time. But after the fact, I'm sitting there thinking, and I had asked that Houston when he called me, I said, do you hear that she pushed this girl down the steps? Houston believes she pushed her down the steps. Again, I know he's a little crazy or whatever, but he was the one that said that too.
Houston thinks that Kenzie pushed her down the
Pushed
steps
that
like
girl down the
firsthand.
steps. That's when she had that concussion and everything. She fully recovered, but it was a serious thing.
I know, it was fucked up.
Wow.
So the mailbox
I wasn't
incident.
there, but yeah, Don told me all about it. It was like a horror story. He told me that.
Do you remember when, tentatively?
Yeah, it was.
So there was a lot of red flags, is what I'm getting here, and everyone knew it, and everyone chose to ignore it and act like it wasn't happening.
It's obviously this doesn't have to do with anything. I mean,
I understand. I do.
But
Does it make it right? No.
With that girl, he told me that if he wasn't there, that was just like somebody else's house, she probably would have died. Like he said that he ran downstairs and started like supporting her head because she was leaking from her face, so she wouldn't like drown in like her blood and stuff. He said that some of her friends started grabbing her, shaking her, smacking her, telling her to wake up, started like trying to drag her up the stairs. They started freaking out, like this and that. He said that most people just ran out the house, dipped, just fled the scene. You know what I'm saying? He said that fucking like right off rip, he's like calling an ambulance, supporting her, holding her up. You know what I mean? Like he was like, he told me his whole body was covered in blood because he was just helping around and shit. And then I didn't know that she made a full recovery. Thank God, because I was really worried. I remember hearing this made up brain damage and all this stuff.
Brain damage? No, they did a brain scan, by the way.
It really does matter a lot in how you care for the person.
Right.
She was fine.
Really sensitive. If your head's swollen or whatever.
The brain was fine.
Oh,
like
really
Wade Wilson, the brain was fine.
You know what I mean? But
I want to say March.
March of this year, 2022. Okay. Well, here's so I'm going to transcribe all these notes, and if I have any follow-up questions, you mind if I reach back out to you?
Oh, absolutely.
Like I said, just encourage whoever some of your friends are, whoever might have firsthand knowledge of Mackenzie threatening, or maybe Dom confiding in somebody about Mackenzie making threats or being suicidal, something of that sort. You know, encourage.
She was a spoiled brat.
Chris Hench. Would he be willing to talk to? I just want to figure out the whole.
Yeah, I can bring him here because he right now doesn't have an operating vehicle.
I do have that interview as well.
But she also always says to me all the time that it should have been me.
A bully, yeah, against all logic. We're familiar with those, right?
I think that
unfortunately.
was a weird, like I said when my son died, I wish, why didn't I die in the hospital? You could have taken me. I'm older, not him. That sort of thing. I wish it was me. That's not how she says. She says it should have been me, and I think that's a weird way to characterize.
How well did you know Davion?
Actually, I met Davion for the first time like a week before, maybe a couple days before I left for Florida, you know. And my knowledge to Davion is like Dom. So like me and Dom, like the last year or so, we just haven't been hanging out as much as we normally would. To honestly, mostly all to do with Kenzie. Like he's always doing something for Kenzie, doing something with Kenzie. Can't hang out with me because of Kenzie.
Very
whatever, you know?
controlling and toxic is what I get from
like
her vibe.
A lot of times I'd call him. I'd be like, you know, like, what are you up to? Yada yada yada. And he's like, oh, I'm hanging out with Davion and Blair and Kenzie or whatever, you know. The first time I met Davion, he was working on Dom's Jag. I think he was just detaching a battery and putting like a new battery and stuff like that. And I walked up to him, said, "What's up?" There's I don't know if you ever heard of like the rapper like 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗲. Probably not. He's like a mainstream like rapper, you know. But he kind of like looked like him. So I'm like, "Oh, it's 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗲." I'm like, "Why don't you guys bring 𝗏𝗏𝗃𝗲 over here?" You know. I'm like, you know, like having a good time with them. And then
why didn't anyone tell her no? I don't get it.
Obviously, like very caring.
She was just some dumb high school girl.
All that.
Not me being a mean girl.
I can't really say much.
Not being mean.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Well, hey, I'm gonna turn this off. Thank you for coming in.
Okay, so we're done. We heard from the brother of Dominic Russo, who is the brother. Wait, Angelo Russo Brother of Dominic. I'm sorry, my apologies. Was it intentional or not? We're gonna watch this. Tomorrow we're gonna watch the mom interview, the body cam footage. So we'll get a little more understanding. Yeah. It was intentional in my opinion. I don't know. What do you think? That's up to you, but I appreciate you guys for being here. I have another live plan later, but I know YouTube Streets is going live, so I want to make sure I'm there. There's a lot going on tonight, so I might be back with Jamie Calls tonight. Get ready, because it's before bond hearing on the Jamie Calls, but we also have new cases tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys for being, yes, intentional. Definitely intentional. All of you think it was intentional for the most part. Well, we definitely need to have a conversation about like toxic relationships. What about them YouTube toxic relationships? Let's talk about that too. So I'll be back with the members only. See you on YouTube Street. See you back either later tonight or tomorrow with more true crime. I appreciate you guys all for being here. Make sure you do all the YouTube things. Hit the like button. You already know. I appreciate you guys for being here, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.